Okay, what is going on, everyone? Same thing we normally do. Make sure our stream's up and running here. Make sure everything looks good. Looks like we're live here. I like to do these cheap underdog drafts, and Underdog has more cheap drafts. We are lucky enough to have both of the free Tendies fantasy boys on here. Ted, how you doing, buddy? How was your night of battling the bots for a Walmart drop? How did it go for you, my friend?
Well, as many other collectors can attest to, I did not get anything from Walmart tonight. That being said, though, the tides are changing in the in-person restocks, so I'm ready to scalp so hard for the
Uh,
rest of the summer. It's gonna be
Nice.
awesome.
Nice. Let's make sure there's no weird rules here. 18 rounds, 12 draft size, receiving yard, reception, no full PPR, no weird roster start. Okay, we're good to go. This is just a $1. Easy $1 draft. So we're just doing little Dalmatians just so we can talk over what's going on in fantasy, get a stream. It's more entertaining than watching the two of us sit here and go back and forth. Yeah, dude. So I it kills me that again, right? I'm in the middle of all these things, so I'm trying to put. I don't do car payments. I'm just not a car payment guy. I buy them in cash. So I'm looking for like a nice Honda Civic for my move. I want a low mileage car. I have a German car approaching 150,000 miles. That's usually when things go wrong. So I'm like, trying to pay about whatever 8 to 12 thousand in cash, and then I'm have to have a new deposit on the apartment when I move. So like out of pocket, like in the next 4 to 6 weeks, I'm gonna go like close to $15,000. I could not buy those pitch black booster box cases that drop for under $1,000. Two per person limit. Could have gotten two cases of booster boxes in the year 2026 for under $1,000. That is incredible.
Yep, we're back to the MSRP gang.
Oh,
MSRP gang has arrived, and those boxes that it seems like no one really cares about went very quickly.
yep,
So I think the shiny cardboard market's getting a little sharper with where they're taking their shots.
yep.
Much like underdog drafters are also getting sharp this year. I have noticed like a lot of the bait picks aren't like really materializing this year, right? Like ADPs are holding. Like one of the ones that I think is bait is Michael Wilson being the guy to own instead of Marvin Harrison, right? Based on last year, I thought Marvin Harrison would be being drafted after Michael Wilson. That was not the case. The market kind of said no. We're still betting on Marvin Harrison there. So in some senses, I think the drafters are getting better at what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
There's still some ridiculousness, but got to tip your cap. The industry's getting sharper.
Yeah, so like I told you, I've been taking so much James. I'm almost at 30% James Cook, and I do want to diversify a little bit, especially with the news that I'm going into 24 point whatever percent of my drafts without my favorite wide receiver 4 and 5. I've been jamming in Ricky Pearsall, so we'll see what I do here. I don't like that Jonathan Taylor's holding out right now. That actually does freak me out a little bit. Um,
Just to hold in, he still would play. But also, we do need to talk about Ricky Pearsall. Let's not be too quick to say that he's not playing. We are one report in today, and people are already writing that off as an L. I will say it's not great news.
no.
Being bothered from an PCL, it wasn't even a tear. It was like a PCL sprain from like almost a year ago. The fact that is still causing swelling is not great. So you don't
Yep.
want to overreact to the news, but you have to react. So I guess Ricky Pearsall question: would you draft him anymore, or is he just completely off your board?
So he went as far as. Can we pull this in a separate? Okay, so it's going to be in a separate thing. We'll pull this up here. He went as far as pick 200 in a underdog or in a DraftKings full PPR. So if he goes down to pick 200, yeah, I'll probably keep taking the risk, but certainly not at ADP. No. Ironically, after you led into that, like Michael Wilson around pick 100 feels comfy to me. Like I'll probably rip some more Michael Wilson than I was because I really preferred Pearsall. Um, Maybe Addison, maybe Wandale, around there. There were some guys that I liked in his range, but I was just aggressively taking Parasol over, and I'm probably going to start mixing them in now. That's all that really changes for me.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy click for me at Pearsall
Oh,
around pick 100.
oh,
Like, if you get him after 100, I was thrilled. I'd even go a little bit before to get him. I am going to not be drafting him as much now, though,
yep.
just because. So, like, it's not. I don't want to be bullheaded and say that I'm, not going to react at all. You have to, but also I'm not just assuming he's not going to play a snap this season either.
I mean, you know, my like process with this, right, is I sit there and I'll go and hit up. I would be pretty happy with a Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane start, or a Jonathan Taylor, Chase Brown start. That's a pretty banger. In redraft, I think I would feel pretty great about that. Now in redraft, I'm probably going James Cook because I don't care about like being overexposed to that. So like it would be a James Cook, Devon Achane start. I would be pretty pumped up about that. Yeah. So Neighbors Neighbors is obviously the other injury piece, but I guess on Pearsall, I'm really bummed. You and I were both extraordinarily high on like what I really thought there was a chance this year that if Mike Evans missed time and Kittle was slow to get up to speed, and if Christian McCaffrey missed time, I thought there was a world where Pearsall would be like a top 20 receiver this year. I really did. That's why I have 24% exposure over like 115 rosters. So I'm extraordinarily disappointed. Not like for my rosters. I'm disappointed for the 49ers first and foremost. And like I thought this was the best receiving core Brock Purdy had ever had coming into the year, and now that's gone. I'm really bullish on Brock Purdy.
What do you mean it's gone? It's not gone. We just have a report there is knee swelling.
Dude, when I'm
it's not gone until they say that they're gonna like do the if they go in and they do the repair.
You're right. I shouldn't have
that's
said
all year.
I shouldn't have said now it's gone. Now it's in peril. Because I think at the best case he's going to get pup now, right? 4 to 8 weeks, which training camp pump isn't pup. Like he can go on it for training camp and come off. But like when so what I did was I went and checked out the Twitter docs like everyone does. Javonte Williams at the 211. Interesting move, sir. Interesting move. Brees Hall at the okay. So people are doing weird stuff. This is a weird stuff draft because it's $1. You probably have people either auto drafting or just going for uniqueness. That's kind of interesting. Maybe we'll get an interesting team here. The range of outcomes seems to be that the PCL creates instability in like multiple other key knee ligaments, and that if he's still having that issue now, he's pretty likely to. Okay, so is that Josh Jacobs at 40? I don't want Trey McBride. How do I close Trey McBride? Okay. Go Zay Flowers here a little bit. I am getting a little bit excited about how they're talking about using him, force feeding him as many targets as they possibly can. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so dude, just the range of outcomes sounds really bad. It sounds to me like at the bare minimum, we're looking at pup, and then if it flares up again, surgery. But it sounds like he should have had a surgery this offseason. I don't know why.
I don't know how we're coming to he's going on pup. Even the only report I saw is there was knee swelling.
Yeah,
that's it. I saw there was knee swelling, and they are concerned.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm stupid and just am not reacting quick enough to things. But that doesn't say, oh yeah, like knee instability. That says there's swelling, right? Like I don't.
So
I only read like a couple of tweets on it, so maybe I'm just don't have the full information. Was there reports that there's still he's feeling instability in the knee?
So this is one of them. I mean, there were a couple of them, right? And it still is up for interpretation. I'm not saying it's. We're going to continue to jam Josh Jacobs too in round 4. I think that's going away, boys. I think Josh Jacobs in round 4 is not going to be a thing. I'm getting hyped up on the Tedrow and McMillan tape from camp. He put on weight. He's getting moved around the formation. I am hyped up for my boy. There goes. And it looks like Malik Nabers. We'll check where Malik Nabers went after him. I was interested in the report thing.
He went at the 3-2.
Okay, 3-2. 3-2. Oh, okay. So he went high. I still think for Malik Nabers, I think based on his okay, we're blending conversation. I do want to hit the Ricky thing. Just let me make this pick first, and then pull back up the draft board. It's more interesting to see. I'm actually kind of tempted to take Josh Allen here. Who would you go?
Josh Allen, 4th round's an auto click for me. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go Josh.
Well below ADP.
We'll go Josh Allen. I mean, well, yeah, so his ADP is 36, pick 42. Okay, we're going to have to make it up at receiver here at the next turn, but I feel pretty great about that, and I do love the receivers at the 5-6 turn. So, I mean, regarding PCL injuries and the Ricky Pearsall situation, in general, the vast majority of PCL injuries are managed non-operatively, especially if they are isolated. If patients become symptomatic, swelling, pain, or instability, then surgery can be performed. Sometimes the symptoms will not creep up until the players start doing really intensive activities. The reason to try and delay PCL surgeries is that reconstruction has a long recovery process, 9 to 12 months, and the results are mixed, especially at an agility position like wide receiver. So to me, what that informs is why someone would not want to go get a surgery right away. And it's because they could be career threatening. Hold on. Okay, so you know what's funny? You know what's stupid about that Josh Allen pick is I could have gotten Lamar Jackson to stack with Zay Flowers. That was really stupid, but it's okay. We were in the middle of that conversation. We were all into it.
Well, Josh Allen is like, well, I don't know. I still think that Josh Allen and Lamar are kind of close, but fourth round Josh Allen, like you can correlate elsewhere. You don't have to do that.
Well, we're gonna go DJ Moore. We'll stack him up with Josh Allen. I still feel pretty good about that. I just don't generally like DJ Moore. I'm not like super high on him, but I'll stack him with Josh, and that's a pretty good start to me. Zay Flowers, Josh Allen, DJ Moore. So, like, again, to me, dude, there's nothing definitive at all. But what that tweet informed to me is why a player with a PCL issue would push it off. And then all of a sudden now we're in this space where maybe he needed a surgery or maybe he was recommended it and he pushed it off and then he aggravates it when camp starts really going. That to me is like a pretty serious series of events. And then obviously the other comment we have is all options are on the table. Well, they're exploring options, whatever the night. I think they said all options are on the table. That's just not good, dude. That series of things, the injury timeline from the Docs, what his behavior has been, and now what the Niners are saying, to me is pretty bad. Like I probably will not draft him until we get more information. If it turns out that he's just going to be sidelined for a few weeks and they're going to try to roll him again, fine. But I still worry, like, dude, a flare up, like. That's pretty. Yeah,
he had a bunch of flare-ups last year too. Like,
yeah.
I guess the main thing that I want to emphasize here is that when we get news like that, right? I feel like it's very easy to go to the extreme on things, right? Like, I guess Malik Nabers is a great example, right? We had some early breadcrumbs that Malik Nabers was probably going to be opening the season on PUP. It was not going to be available, right? Yeah. He slides way down on ADP. Now we have him showing up at camp, and we have a couple like 10-second clips of him running routes. Now all of a sudden he's back up.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so these things can change very quickly, and to me, at least the way I like to play it is I like to wait until there is a decision made. Right. If the Niners come out and say, yeah, Ricky's getting his PCL repaired, like that's basically like tearing your ACL in terms of like a recovery, and he's just going to be out all year. So you do run that risk, and also the aggravation given that he tweaked it so many times last year and just wasn't really the same guy after he came back. Like, that is concerning. I don't think he's completely off my board. Maybe in redraft he is at this point, but like in contests like these, like it depends on what discount you're getting, like maybe. But yeah, like guys like Rashid Shaheed, I think, or I'm certainly wanting over Ricky Pearsall now, which is a bummer. I think he's. Let me check what my exposure is to him. I have a lot of Ricky though.
24% over 115 rosters for me. I was jamming Ricky, dude. I was 8th, 9th turn Ricky. Oh boy. Or like
I have 37% Ricky.
Oh, dude, it was like, to me it felt such like a slam dunk. It really did. And yeah.
Still could be. I'm not writing it off. I'm just a little discouraged.
Yeah, man, I'm a little discouraged. More so though, disappointing for the 49ers. I don't know if you remember the night Ricky. So I mean, you're actually the only person in the world that would know this, because we're who talks about this stuff. So like you remember, I was huge on Ladd as rookie year. I drafted so much Ladd, like we both did. We both won titles with Ladd as rookie year. It was really fun. I was a huge Ladd guy coming out of college. We're gonna go Jalen Warren here. I am not getting enough of him lately. I'm super excited about this pick still. I know it's like a goofy pick to Ted, and a lot of people don't like Jalen Warren. I'm a very big Jalen Warren guy.
I don't think it's goofy. I think that's a legit 50-50. The part that I don't like about it is involved in the Pittsburgh Steelers backfield.
Yeah.
That's my only thing.
But like, do you remember? I don't know if you were. Wouldn't expect you to remember this exact thing that happened. The night Ricky Pearsall was drafted, I got so angry. I got in my car and I drove circles around Martinez in the Bay Area. Like, I drove from like Walmart to my house because I was living by there at the time, and I went to like 7-Eleven and got a taquito. and like just sat there staring out my window. I was so angry that if you wanted a little slot guy and like this designed route guy and this high efficiency middle of the field target guy, why on earth would you not just get the pedigree dude from the really quality school that played top-notch football in college? I never understood. It was so frustrating to me. Could you imagine if they had Lad McConkey in their current receiving core and offense and he was on the board? They just went, no, we're going to be smarter than the room. We're going to take the guy that is projected 70 picks behind this range instead of the guy with the pedigree from, I believe, Bama, right? That's where McConkey went.
Georgia, but yes,
Georgia,
SEC school.
SEC. I don't watch college football. SEC, dude, like that really. I don't know, man. There's something about that infuriated me. We're going to continue to buy the dip on Alec Pierce. They said he's rolling out week 1. I like the price on him. I love him in best ball. I will not take him in redraft, but in best ball for spike weeks, and especially because people are pretty nervous about the injury. They said he's out there week 1 in the front office. I'm going to take their word for it. Dude, that was like one of the most frustrating picks the 49ers front office has ever made, ever to me. Like I was so angry. I had, like I don't know if your dad ever got in fights with your mom like that. My dad sometimes would get so mad at my mom, he'd be like, excuse me, and he would just leave the house for a while. We just wouldn't see him, and he would just drive around and listen to music in his car and calm down and then come back. It was that kind of anger, right? And that's what's I'm more devastated from like a 49ers, whatever. I lost 24% of my $700 of best ball. Who gives a shit? That doesn't matter. But from like a 49ers roster building perspective, dude, it looks like we're heading toward another wasted first round pick, which to me is devastating. That is really upsetting to me on several levels, to be honest with you.
I think Ricky can still be better than Lad McConkey. I don't care.
Oh, God. Oh, God. All right.
Dude, he was number 3 in the league last year in receiving yards, and he's had a nagging injury, and he got shot his rookie year. I think that if I had to grade that pick, I'd say incomplete, right? Like if you were grading on an A to F scale, I wouldn't even give Ricky a grade yet.
You know what? We're going to keep our positional advantage here and end our quarterback room at Josh Allen and Brock Purdy. That is an extremely strong quarterback room. A lot of these guys on here are not Ted guys, so he's probably not going to be as big of a fan of it. But for me personally, I don't like DJ Moore. I like him stacked with Josh Allen, but I love this quarterback room. I love the running back room, and I'm a huge Parker Washington guy this year, and I think Zay Flowers is going to get crit. The way they're talking about Zay as their pre-snap motion guy, this is the Ben Johnson coaching tree. Like I don't know. I've really come around to the Zay Flowers pick in the mid-third. And then Parker Washington I'm big on. And then just for spike week potential, DJ Moore and Alec Pierce I think are really good.
The Zay Flowers stuff confuses me because last year no one wanted to draft him. Do you remember? No one wanted to draft Zay Flowers. Like that was kind of like if you drafted Zay Flowers, you were a taco. And
yes.
Like what was he going, like 5th or 6th round or something?
No. On Yahoo, he was going in the 70s. He was going in the mid 60s to 70s. I ended up with 30% Zay Flowers in the 7th round. Yeah.
To me, nothing that was on the field suggested because I think he was like 4 rounds cheaper than the previous year.
Yeah.
And I just didn't understand why he was so much cheaper because he looked like a very nice player to me. Like he didn't have the touchdown luck.
Oh.
So that was concerning, but I was like, well, he's still a very good player. I think that I will be drafting Zay Flowers, right? Then it feels like, I don't know, it felt very similar to his rookie year to me. I don't think much has changed, and now the worm is completely turned, and everyone's like drafting him in the 3rd round. So I'm kind of splitting the baby on this one. I don't like the price on. I like the player in Zay Flowers. I don't like the price on him, and I don't understand. I guess it would just be because there's a new offensive coordinator, and people are saying that he's going to have a different role, but. To me, in order for him to pay off at ADP, he has to get the touchdowns.
He has to get
which
8
he has
to 10.
not gotten in his career.
Yeah. He has to score 8 to 10 touchdowns, or it's not going to fly. I'm just intrigued by. I mean, he was technically. I know this is a little weird when you get into this stuff. He was technically a top 10 receiver last year in half PPR. I know that was a lot of spike weeks, but he also had like a really high floor. It was actually pretty rare for him to go under like 10, 11 points in half PPR per game last year in full PPR, full or half PPR. Ooh, I don't remember where I pulled that stat log from. It might have been full PPR. But he actually had a pretty high floor, which I was surprised when I went back and looked at his year. Like, oh, this was a dude who actually did not blow very many weeks for you. And then, when they're talking about like him being their pre-snap motion guy and him being their, again, I'm getting sick of saying this stuff. I probably need to be a little more careful about just throwing these things around. It's like this weird thing that seems really prevalent this year to say this is this guy, this is this next kid, this guy. But when they say like when it is a Ben Johnson coaching tree hire and they say like we're looking at him for our Amon Ra, right? We're looking at him for our move guy, our volume guy, our red zone guy. That's what they said. They said he is that receiver to their offense. And then the two rookies they drafted don't look good in camp. They're signing veterans, which seems like they're not comfortable with the depth behind him. I don't know. I think it's a little risky in that like it's a volume play, and like you said, if he doesn't catch touchdowns, I think you're gonna have some weeks where you're really sweating it out. But if Lamar stays healthy all year, I think that's a pick I'm really comfortable with personally.
I don't think it's risky, like, because he is super involved in the offense. Like, to me, the way I evaluate Zay Flowers is I would put him in like that fourth round spot where I'm just obsessed with drafting the wide receivers, right? Like, if you want to take a shot at Zay Flowers and like the Terry, the Waddle, the who else is there? It's like Terry Waddle, Mike Evans range. Like that makes more sense to me.
Tetaroa, Garrett
Yeah.
Wilson. Yeah.
Like I definitely prefer to say Flowers to Garrett Wilson, but like then the rest of those guys, I think like that's like about where I have him, which isn't that far off of ADP. But I just haven't been drafting him because he's that much more expensive.
Shit, that was an easy crush there for me on uh, Tyrone Tracy Jr. Need to throw someone in here. We're gonna throw Jalen McMillan. We'll get a little spike week going with the wide receiver. Like you've pointed out, you've been really adamant about this. There's still like some sort of outside chance that Jalen McMillan is their guy this year, and gets a ton of work. I don't know. I kind of think that's interesting. He's been really good when he's on the field. I think you should just cautiously keep jamming him in there. The Tyrone Tracy thing, what was interesting, they said about, they apparently are in the market for a running back, the Giants. And they tried to get J.K. Dobbins and they were connected to Jeremiah Love. And then they come out today and they said, well, they're still working out the distribution of labor between Tyrone Tracy Jr. and Cam Scatterbo. And you, to your credit, you've been very adamant about this. You've been very adamant about this all summer. That like, should people really be so sure that Cam Scatterbo's healthy and ready to go, and that even if he is, that he's going to play over Tyrone Tracy Jr.? To me, dude, that was enough that like now I'm looking at the injury. And now they were interested in like two premier backs, and now they're shopping backs, and now they're saying they don't know about divisional labor. I think it's enough that like I may just fall back to my old, if there's a real debate going on here, I'm going to take the guy that's way cheaper and I'm going to let someone else be the first guy in. So I think I'm at the point where I'm now much more comfortable with Monty or Swift in the late fourth than I am with Cam Scatterbo. So that was a big shift I made in my thinking today because of that singular line. Yeah, we're interested in bringing in another back. I was like, fucking excuse me?
Dude, the Cam Scatterbo guys, like he just has this arm. Look, I get why he has an army of like people that love him. Obviously my family is mostly Arizona based, and since Cam was an ASU guy, like all of my cousins are obsessed with that guy. Like I know that in my like cousin league, I am getting no Cam Scatterbo because he's gonna go 2 rounds over.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking for Stribling to take at this next turn here, and Stribling went at 146.
Yeah, there you go. It's amazing how quickly it moves in here. We'll see. There is a very real possibility now that Stribling just is out there week 1, like is the wide receiver 2. Like that's on the board.
I guess.
I think like if you want to buy into this theory that Ricky just is a total zero this year and he's going to get reconstruction and he's not going to see the field and it's a lost cause, then I think you do need to be drafting some Christian Kirk too, right? Everyone kind of assumes that it will be Stribling, and I think Kirk, he's kind of buried in ADP. We'll kind of see. The other guy I'm actually really excited about is Kalen Black. Jordan James, kind of what a lot of the fantasy community.
Fred broke his rib. Yeah. Did you see the clip?
Yep.
Fred broke his rib.
That's where I was going with that.
Oh, sorry. I stepped on it.
A lot of the sharp fantasy community kind of dubbed Jordan James the obvious running back too in San Francisco. Is Niners fans, we kind of said, hey, like pump the brakes on that. I don't know, because Kalen Black is getting some very good reports from camp. He looks very good too. He looks the part. And yeah, Fred Warner went to go punch the ball out of Jordan James's arms and I guess fractured his ribs. So Fred's getting back, but also injuring our players again. Yeah, man, dude, it's so bad as a Niners fan. We are 3 days in the training camp, and we have a concussed head coach. Our running back 2 to 3 with broken ribs. Ricky's knee might be completely screwed. Christian Kirk has a strained calf, and who else is injured?
Malik Mustafa, who was being mentored
Oh yeah,
under new defensive coordinator Raheem Morris, strained his hamstring, and Malik Mustafa is
yeah.
one of the few talented like rocket ship like players on the defense that could really actually swing like impact games. Oh, nice! I would love to get Tank Bigsby,
Yep.
13
Starting
picks
free
past ADP
safety
here.
too. So we are just picking up right where we left off in the Niners fandom.
Yep,
Uh,
absolutely, absolutely.
I would just like to reiterate this for those of you who watch the show. We've talked about how being a Niners fan is an extremely cursed experience. It's like, it seems like it'd be fun to be a Niners fan because they have been so competitive and they're kind of right on the doorstep and they have been for years. Let me just tell you, boys, there is no pain like having success dangled so closely in front of you and having it ripped away. Our head coach almost lost his eye two
Yep,
weeks ago.
dude.
That's where we're at.
It's
I
to the
think there's like someone did like a Etsy witch curse on us. It's insane.
it's to the point where it's dangerous to be associated with the team, like as a head coach. Yeah, man. It's oh god, yeah. It's so weird. It's such a weird time. I continue to be extremely bullish on Terrence Ferguson. By the way, I know it's slappy. You can totally accuse me of it because it fits here. I love the quotes that are coming out about Terrence Ferguson this year, man. It makes me really happy. So, would love to get Terrence Ferguson here. We're going to cut the quarterbacks off at 2. We're going to cut the running backs off at 5. We're going to cut the tight ends off at 3. And we're going to see what good receiver value we can pick on the way down here. And unfortunately, there goes Terrence Ferguson, another fellow slappy.
Can I interest you in some Tank Dell?
Yeah, is he on the... Okay, we will see if we get a tight end on the comeback. The other one that I'm peripherally interested in more and more is last round Jake Tonjes, and I'm not even kidding about that, dude. It started off as a joke between the two of us. Great call on Tank Dell, actually. That's a good pick. It started off as a joke between the two of us. I am actually now interested. We will see what happens with that. Just because the way the Niners season's going, I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen when George gets out there. It's going to be a hamstring injury, and we're not going to see him for 9 weeks. I'm just sort of emotionally and mentally preparing for that.
Look at what this franchise has done to our mental health.
Oh, dude.
Look at this.
Dude, so there was actually a really, as part of my psych undergrad, right? I did a whole research dive on it about the effects of sports fandom on mental health. It is actually not good for you in any way. There's no benefits whatsoever to being a fan of a sports team. It's actually only a negative. Heart attacks go up during games. It's not good, man. We're down bad out here. We are down bad. So that really does suck, though, about the run at tight end. We will see about probably just a wide receiver here to wrap this thing up.
Dude, I think Colby Parkinson, 18th round, like he could be the guy that you think Terrence Ferguson is. I think it's totally on the board.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly... Oh, you know what? No. We have Brock Purdy. Throw Christian Kirk in there as our last wide receiver. And then we have a tight end to pull here, and whenever Ted is hanging out, I want to do picks that make him happy. So we will do Colby Parkinson or Evan Ingram if he goes.
Did Tonjes go?
No.
Oh yeah, he's buried. He's buried on the depth chart. I'm telling you, boys, you're gonna get a couple weeks from Jake Tonjes.
Yeah,
I promise you.
So I don't know if this roster was anything groundbreaking. Again, I was mostly just, I like using, these are $1 drafts, they're kind of fun. I should do some weirder builds with these when we get into them. But, again, we're using these to hit the fantasy news. It's more interesting for whoever may come across to watch. I kind of like Evan Ingram. We'll do Parkinson since you're so adamant about Parkinson, but I do think Evan Ingram in the last round is a pretty good tight end 3. I like his chances to randomly have some spike weeks this year.
just to be clear, I'm not adamant on Colby Parkinson. I'm just saying, like in the 13 personnel that the Rams were
Yeah.
running, like he is one of the guys that's out there, and he's 6'4". He's a giant of a man. Like I think there's going to be a couple touchdowns. If you like the premise of buying Rams tight ends, like taking your shot there, I don't think it's a bad bet for your
I'm t-
last round,
I'm
right? Like why not?
I'm embarrassed to tell you I started Colby Parkinson in the semifinals this year. Okay, so quarterback room. Josh Allen, Brock Purdy, very strong quarterback room. I'm very happy with this running back room. Whenever I design these double hero running back builds, this is always what I want. I want two running backs that are my double hero. I try to wait until round 7, 8, or 9 to take a running back that I think is going to be solid and give me flex weeks. That in this case it was Jalen Warren. I like Kenny Gainwell. I like Brooks. I like White. I like Monangai. I like Corum. But in this, or Dobbins if you're a Dobbins guy, right? So Jalen Warren was this one. And then I like two big upside swings. Jonah Coleman on Denver and Tank Bigsby to round out that room because you really shouldn't be taking scores from these guys unless one of them goes ballistic. I like guys with the chance to go ballistic. If Dobbins goes down, Jonah Coleman gets the starting role, ballistic. If Saquon goes down, I think Tank Bigsby might be the highest quality handcuff in the NFL as far as the type of player he is and the upside. Receiver room, Zay Flowers, DJ Moore, Parker Washington, Alec Pierce, Matthew Golden, Jalen McMillan, Tank Dell, Christian Kirk. I'm pretty happy with that considering I pushed it pretty late. And then tight ends, okay. Dalton Kincaid, Brenton Strange is just a staple of mine because I think he's going to get good volume this year. And Colby Parkinson to fill in for the 1 week. They're both on bye. All right, let's go back in. So the more interesting topic for the rest of the fantasy community, the non-Niners world, is what do you do with Malik Nabers now, right? This is the big Twitter conversation. What are we all doing with Malik Nabers? So to me, the conversation starts at if he goes in the second round, that's a relief to me because I'm going to let everyone else go on there. If he starts to push up to the 20 to 24 range, that sort of is the best case scenario in my mind because then I don't have to think too much about it. I'm just going to draft around him. What's more stressful to me is if he settles in that Chris Olave, Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, Emeka Egbuka, and Lad McConkey range from 28 to 34, which I think is where he's going to end up settling. And that's a really tough thing for me to parse, right? Because without a doubt, Nabers would be maybe the wide receiver 6 this year if he were totally healthy. Pick 8 again every effing time, man. I think I'll probably take some shots there, but I'm not going to prioritize him. I'm certainly not going to jam him. He's not going to be one of those guys I keep taking. I don't know if the outlook is that much better because he got out. I mean, it is, right? By definition, it's at least 4 to 6 weeks better, if not 8 to 12 weeks better, based on what the Twitter docs are saying from the film. Jeff Mueller, who just signed with Fantasy Points, he's now their injury expert there, which is pretty big company to endorse, a pretty big name on Twitter. He said he's now officially moved Nabers ahead of Jefferson. He will take Nabers before he'll take Jefferson in his ranks, and he would know better than me. I'm uncomfortable with the risk profile. I'm uncomfortable with guys that to me feel like fringe wide receiver ones, certainly bona fide top 20 wide receivers with wide receiver 1 upside on a weekly basis. I'm uncomfortable putting him above him. So I haven't really decided how I'm going to manage it, but it certainly is a huge wrench in the fantasy outlook to have a nuclear bomb potentially dropped in the third, like JSN last year defined leagues. Right? I wonder if they end up settling in a similar ADP and he becomes a league-defining player for redraft. I also just wonder if they're hurrying him back, if he's going to miss more games than people think, if he still misses 2 or 3 games. And the re-injury risk or the compensatory injury risk is still through the roof. He had a second surgery months after his ACL. So I don't know, but the footage looked really good to me. It did look really good to me, and it seems like the medical side of fantasy Twitter is all excited about it.
I mean, it's good news for sure. I would argue that Malik Nabers has not been a fantasy-defining player yet in his career, even in his best years. Do you think that he could possibly be better this year than he was the previous 2?
Than he was his rookie year? I mean, technically, that's...
Well, I guess, yeah, we're not counting last year, I guess.
Yeah, so technically... So we're going to keep mixing it up. I would normally take James Cook here. I just took Jonathan Taylor. We're going to do an Ashton Genty up high roster, see if we get a cool combo with Genty and someone. No, I mean, in terms of return to play timelines, his max this year should be 85 to 90%, just from the physical limitations of his physical capacity. It shouldn't be possible for him to play at 100%. The biggest thing is deceleration. That's going to be one that you should look for. That's going to be like the hot button topic on Twitter. Can he decelerate, which is what makes your routes really punchy? Like when you get to the top of a route, can you whip around and break off the defender? If he can't do that, he's not going to be able to generate space anyway. You know what's funny? Okay, I was going to say we haven't taken uh, Kenneth Walker, and I just took Achan. We're just doing different stuff. That's what we're doing. We're doing different stuff than the last draft. We're gonna go with Derrick Henry over Devon Achan, although I do think I prefer Achan by a hair there. So yeah, dude, I don't see any world where he comes out and gets 175 targets or whatever he got his rookie year. There's no way. There's no way. And I still think there's like a scenario where he goes out and he doesn't feel totally great and like either gets throttled down or picks up some other annoying injury, you know? So I don't know what I'm going to do. It's a very stressful thing for me because I feel like the upside is very clearly there, and he's way more likely to have his best weeks in weeks 4 through 8 than he is in weeks 1 through 8. So, like, he's a guy who's going to accelerate as the year goes on, and you're going to get your best production late from him. So I don't know. What do you do? Who would you take him over? So, like, how low would you go? Would you take Terry over him?
I mean, that's the kind of the block of guys that I have him in, right? So if you took Neighbors instead, like I guess if you took Terry instead, because now like Terry would be like the weird pick there. Like I wouldn't grill anyone for taking Terry over Neighbors and dodging that. Like a guy that I'll tell you for sure I would take Neighbors over is Chris Olave.
So,
Like,
like,
because
so
to me, Chris Olave has that same, like, it's not the same thing, right? But there is massive risk. So, like, I feel like you just have to account for extreme levels of risk that you're taking when you're taking a guy like Neighbors. So like to me, like I think that Neighbors' ceiling is higher than Chris Olave's. I think he's a better player than Chris Olave, and I already think that's an incredibly risky pick. So if you're gonna do that, I'd rather take the higher ceiling guy, right? That's kind of the way I parse those. And generally speaking, I guess I kind of don't do the thing that a lot of content creators say, like we're playing for we're playing for first and it doesn't matter if it all falls apart, right? Like because you're taking like those big giant hacks. A lot of times I kind of don't do that. um I don't know, maybe that has hurt me before. Like I remember Neighbors in his rookie year. Do you remember this there was a guy I wouldn't draft because I was like, I hate that quarterback situation so much. I don't
mm-hmm.
care how good he is. It's all about who's throwing him the football, right? And that I missed out at like that fifth round price tag for sure that year. Another guy I wasn't doing last year because the quarterback was Tedero McMillan. And it's interesting seeing like the fantasy community kind of now come around to, oh well, his quarterback's Bryce Young. So it's like stuff that I've been saying for a couple of years, but now like because everyone's saying that and he's getting more discounted, now I'm more willing to take him. It's
Yeah.
just kind of interesting.
Yeah, I hope someone makes this decision for me because I got all you know how big of a fan of Tedero I am. I got all excited from his practice tape today. Oh no, okay. Tedero McMillan or Josh Jacobs. You know what? I just can't do it, dude. Can't do it. Round 4, Josh Jacobs. Have to keep doing it. Could you imagine in redraft? It's not going to be possible in redraft. In Yahoo, he's going to be way higher. But could you imagine? Ashton Genty, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs.
The
Obviously,
Genti ADP it freaks me out.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what's happened. Why is he bubbling up?
That's gonna be more.
Like I don't.
That's gonna be more James Cook for me, dude. This is just also because I don't get a lot of Genty because I take so much Cook. I wanted to mix it up a little bit. If this were my redraft team, I would take Cook, Henry, Jacobs, which is obviously a much more preferable thing. But Genty, why is because he saw 85% of his touches his rookie year. He's going to get 100% of the goal line work. Kubiak is top 7 in targeting running backs, and he's top 7 in running back production per year in half PPR. So it's just a pretty straightforward, like he's going to get all the work, most of the receiving work, probably 75 to 85% of the touches in an offense that by Vegas is projected to be the most improved offense next year of any offense. I'm not saying you should buy this argument. I'm just telling you that's the bull case for Genty.
Well, no. I get that, but like that's not anything we didn't know already,
Yeah.
right? So it
Yeah.
just like I think we're in content time Like, I think we're in content time where more people are drafting and more people are consuming, I don't know, videos of like people that other content creators like, right? Because I know Genty has been getting a lot of, glazing from the fantasy community. So now I just think it's interesting, right? Like, I don't think anything's really changed about that. At the end of the day, I love the player Ashton Genty. I think that he has a great role. And the only issue for me is, do the Raiders stink again? It's very possible that they are the most improved, but also, man, like that is just a snake bitten franchise. There's been so many points of hope for the Raiders, and it always just comes tumbling down. I am a second fan of the Raiders now, though, so I like what they're doing out there.
You're saying you've been in the trenches with Raiders fans for a whole year, and now you're well ensconced in the nuances
only
of
only a
Raiders
couple
fandom.
weeks.
Yeah.
You know what? No, it's been like a couple months because I had to let the Panthers go because they're obviously a playoff team last year. And there was some deliberation. I was thinking about the Cardinals actually, but I decided I couldn't do the Cardinals because same
NFC
division as the
West.
Niners.
Yep,
That
yep,
that
yep.
gets messy.
Yep, 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 yep.
I
Dude, we
landed on the Raiders.
we totally should do one of these videos where we just introduce second string fandom. I think it is such a great like little side project as an NFL fan to have going. Cannot recommend more to anyone. Get yourself a second team, root for them like a little pet project. You'll have a great time on Sundays.
I tried explaining the second team concept to my cousin, and he was disgusted by it. He's like, "Why would you do that? You're not a real fan of your team." Like, it just totally went over his head.
it's not. It's
You
yeah,
guys don't
yeah,
know what you're missing out on.
yeah, dude. You're not breaking. You're not. You're not. It's not. No.
Same
Okay.
cousin that said that mock drafts are just copying other people's opinions and they're useless. It runs in the family.
Yeah, apparently.
Parker Washington over BTJ?
Yeah,
Really?
dude, I continue to be a Parker Washington guy for better or worse. That's my that's me. I'm so sick in saying it, dude. It makes me so nervous. That continues to be like my biggest flag plant this year. Is I think Parker Washington's a league winner. Oh, it's gonna be so embarrassing, dude. It's gonna be so. Can you imagine if he comes out and just like goes back to the wide receiver 58 he was before everyone got injured? Yeah, it's horrible, dude. It's how I feel, and I'm committed to it. And I'm super high on Christian Watson too. I'm super high. These three wide receivers are like three guys this year that I'm obsessed with, and it could all go so south for all of them. And it's not that stupid. I think you flag something that's a really valid point that does not get talked about enough. When guys say like if you're not first, you're out, we're playing for upside. Upside wins championships. Like nothing else matters. That's true when you're playing in $250 to $2,000 buy-in redraft leagues, or when you're trying to beat 650,000 players on underdog. Sure, that's a valid thing. Dude, in your 12-team redraft home leagues, in your Yahoo, your Sleeper, your ESPN, that is absolutely not the case. I have limped teams into the finals. I have limped teams to championships. I have taken guys off waiver wires, thrown them in there, and taken titles home from it. You can absolutely cobble together a team with the right series of handcuffs and saving your fab and going in. It's a little silly sometimes when people say, like, I'm just playing for the big swings, man. I'm just here. I'm big swing guy. Um, Okay, we don't have any stacks with Dak Prescott. Dak's a pretty good price here. I continue to like Cortland Sutton at cost. Wow, someone took Trevor Lawrence right before me. Okay, yeah, we have no stacks here, and we have some late stacks like with Jordan Love. So we'll take Cortland Sutton. Opens up a Bo Nix stack, which I really enjoy. I'm a big Bo Nix guy this year. We'll see if Jaden Reed is there on the comeback. I will take Alec Pierce if he slides to the eighth again, but I took him last time. We'll take a little Chris Godwin this time. Again, one of my favorite guys. I love the Chris Godwin and Mecca Ibuka pairing because I'm really high on Baker this year. So I'm very comfortable taking Baker. Let's see what our quarterback scouting is looking like. So that would be like Baker 9 picks ahead of ADP, Love 8 or 9 picks ahead of ADP. But if we can go Baker Love here, I'd be very happy with that turn coming up.
It sounds like this is probably Baker's last year in Tampa, which is very interesting. Contract negotiations have ended there.
Yep.
There are some Tampa Bay Buccaneers doomers that think that it's about to all come down.
Yep. Yep. Dude, if you like, you don't like pro football talk, but Sims and Florio hit it really hard today about, oh yeah, we will take Pierce if he's there. We'll take Downs if he's there. I don't want another running back yet. You know what? Is Sam Laporta here? I haven't been drafting enough Sam Laporta. I'm gonna take Sam.
Oh, I love that in the 8th round. That's great.
Yeah, because
Tier
he's
2 tight end.
yes,
Same
sir.
tier as Colston Loveland did, 4 rounds cheaper.
Oh, stop. I don't view him as radically different than Tucker Craft. Actually, I think there's like a pretty similar. I prefer Tucker Craft, but I don't view Sam Laporta as like this different universe from Tucker Craft.
Yeah, and I don't view him as a different universe than Colston Loveland either. Sorry, Bears fans.
We're gonna reach.
Sorry, Ben Johnson guys.
We're gonna reach a little bit on these fellas. We'll keep Bo Nix as a backup though, because I do have Cortland Sutton. I would love to get if I get 2 of these 3 quarterbacks at the next turn. I'm gonna be a happy guy. But yeah, it was a really interesting. There was a really interesting segment on Pro Football Talk today about how Baker Mayfield has traditionally been a guy who bets on himself, and he's an extremely emotional dude. And like apparently in college, you know, he transferred colleges and he started attending one school just so he could get a shot to play there. He's always been kind of like a hothead in that regard. And I don't know, dude. It makes me wonder, like, if Tampa burned him and annoyed him, like, would he even take less money to go somewhere else? Like, if they really broke their relationship with him, he seems like the kind of dude who might say, like, you know, F you, I'm out. And that's very interesting to me about, oh, we have Laporta, actually. We can totally add Gog.
Dude, let's get Baker to Minnesota. Let's get Baker to Minnesota and revive the career of Justin Jefferson.
Oh, dude.
They've gone without a good quarterback for too damn long.
You know what? I'm way higher on Goff than actually all these guys, except for maybe Knicks. But Goff, I have the Laporta stack. I love the idea that, like, you can tell yourself a story where Goff and Laporta go crazy this year. And they stack. No rushing upside, but again, this is like another one of my weird flag plants this year. I'm not inviting anyone else to follow me in. It's going to be a rough and rocky road, I believe. I think the Lions, Vegas projects them to have the best offense in the NFL this year. I think Jared Goff throws for 4,500 yards and 40 touchdowns. I think Jared Goff is a top 8 quarterback this year, and you can get him at like QB 12 to 15. This is going to be one where if quarterback ADPs get a little sketchy in Yahoo, which they tend to do, I'm going to punt, and I'm going to grab Jared Goff and maybe a nice Baker Mayfield late, and I'm just going to call that my quarterback room for the year, and I'm perfectly content rolling into redraft with these two guys. I think they are so mispriced. I'm incredibly high on both. Maybe just because I went on that diatribe, we will take Baker and Goff here.
You may get incredibly disappointed by Drew Petzing.
Maybe.
The Arizona Bayhams seem to think that guy is an absolute donkey.
Maybe.
I don't have it. I didn't watch enough Cardinals football to really say. All I know is that I like Sam Laporta because those tight end years for McBride in Arizona are pretty dang good.
Yes, sir. How do you feel about? So you are not nearly as bullish, which understandably so. It was a pretty rough road last year. You are not nearly as bullish on Baker Mayfield as I am, huh? That's like not a thing for you. Or like
I love
would
Baker
say
Mayfield, the player.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think
this
his
year.
upside is so high. But from what I saw last year, I think it's on the board that he might just be bad now.
Like
I know
too injured to carry on. You don't mean like
it's
bad,
not.
like...
No. Like I just think he might be bad at football. Like I'm not saying that that's what I think, but I think like
it's on
the
the
range
table.
of outcomes. Yes, his range of outcomes is we just see what we saw in the second half of last year, and he's just not good anymore. That's not what my bet would be, right? But that's kind of why Igbuka is a little concerning to me. Is like for me, I have all the faith in the world in Igbuka, and my only pause is, hey, like is Baker going to be good this year? Like it's just something. It was so bad at the tail end of last year, and I know the injuries were a factor. We'll see though, man. We have a couple really good years from Baker, right? And he's also just been in the dumps in certain years too. So hard to say. It does give me some pause though.
I think that's totally fair. Dude, I'm pretty careful about when I have an out there NFL opinion, or like not even an out there. I'm pretty good at recognizing like both sides of a heated NFL debate, and I try not to ever get to the point where I'm like laughing at how stupid other people are, because I just understand things that it's never like that for me. It's always like I can usually understand why someone is a controversial or contested conversation or whatever. Like I'm not incapable of grasping that. And I think I completely understand if you're just like Baker's not my thing, dude. That's just not gonna be where I go. Would have loved to get Dallas Goddard to pair with Laporta. We went pretty heavy investment on tight end with Laporta. I like the wide receiver room. Emeka Buka, Christian Watson, Parker Washington, Cortland Sutton, Rashid Sheed. A lot of boomer bust there. A lot of boomer bust. I would like to stack McMillan with Baker, but instead we're going to go Tyron Tracy. I am sort of, okay, there you go. Made the pick for me. I am sort of peripherally getting very interested in this idea that between Scadabo's health and what the coaching staff is telling us, they are not in on Scadabo. And I'm not saying I think that for sure. I'm saying I'm interested in the idea and I want to start hedging my bets. Ted has been there for the record. You've been there for months.
The other guy I'm really interested in at this range is Woody Marks, just following the tea leaves of the, or I guess the breadcrumbs of the report that he's going to be splitting with David Montgomery. I don't think that's actually the case, but like, I think I don't know, like guys like Kenny Gainwell and Rashad White are going well ahead of Woody Marks, and I feel like they have similar, I guess, ranges of outcomes there. But I am also lower on Rashad White and Kenny Gainwell. But that's been like one of those like floor players is like the RB4 I've been inclined to click now.
Oh, I was so close to getting Jalen McMillan on the wraparound. Ooh, and there goes Strange. I don't really want another. He's been a boom bust guy of mine that I've called. I don't want another running back yet. We'll take Naylor. I was taking a lot of him earlier in the year. I really want to try to get a Deshaun Stribling. There he goes. Okay, so that guy had Naylor or Stribling there. Okay, so I really wanted to try to get a Deshaun Stribling share before he takes off too much. It looks like the train is fully leaving the station on that one, fellas. Look, I hope to go. Oh my God, Ryan Flournoy looks so good in camp too. That's one I'm getting pretty hopped on. But with the Jared Goff roster, we'll go Isaac TeSlaa here. Dude, I hope people are right about Stribling. I'm seeing people get some crazy comparisons going for him. I hope they're right. I really do, like as a 49ers fan, but I don't know if I'm going to be. I think what I'm interested in for redraft, I think I'm interested in taking Stribling as like my last pick on my rosters because I think he's going to go undrafted in most leagues. I do wonder if that's going to be something sneaky for redraft. I may hold on to him for a few weeks and see where it goes to start the season. That I'm interested in, but I don't know if I'm going to be like chasing him up into the 140s next to Shaheed and ADP. That's a little aggressive for me.
See, the thing about that is a lot of times I'm not drafting in the 15th round of the home leagues because I think it's just wrong to take anything other than a kicker or a defense in the last two rounds. There's differing schools of thought there with, you can take Brandon Aubrey. You'll never catch me drafting Brandon Aubrey in the 8th round. The guy who does that in your league is a complete taco.
8th round,
I know we were just talking about different schools of thought and understanding where people are coming from. But don't be the guy who drafts a kicker in the mid rounds, please. Like there is no defending that.
Not in the 8th round. No, I would not take him in the 8th round. I do think my move is generally if I really love a kicker, so like or like Seattle or Texans defense or Rams defense. If you want to go a round early on one of those guys and take a 14th round or 15th round player instead, I think that's okay. I don't mind doing one round. I won't do more though. Feel pretty good about this wide receiver room now. You got Isaac. I know you're not an Isaac TeSlaa guy. I love Jalen Naylor still. But yeah, that's a pretty good receiver room. That's a pretty good running back room. What I'd ideally like to do is add like a tight end or two here, but also Dylan Sampson and Tucker are really good value. There goes Sampson. Sampson creeping up a little bit. Good. He should be. He's a good player. I mean, I could. Oh, that's actually a great slide on Bryce Young. I wasn't going to take a third quarterback here, but that's like 20 picks behind ADP. I will take Bryce Young. Lord knows what Bryce Young adds to my quarterback room, but he adds something, goddammit. All right.
It always comes down to an uncorrelated Bryce Young.
Always. I will not. Yeah, because
he's always the player that happens with. but he
Okay.
goes anyways. So
So I continue to take AJ Barner back here. Dude, I don't know if people realize he had like legitimate spike weeks as a tight end last year, and he's probably really mispriced in 170, 180 pick. And best ball, when you don't have to figure out when to start him, I think you're going to take like random flex weeks from AJ Barner. They talked about expanding his red zone role this year. I'm I'm pretty excited about some random late AJ Barner. And then I prefer Dulcich and Ferguson to Kate Otten. But Kate Otten ran. He was second in the Buccaneers in receptions last year. I don't think people know that. And now with Mike Evans gone, when I take Baker Mayfield, I actually love throwing on a Kate Otten stack there.
Kate Otten is like a Walmart Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah,
like the player that is not involved in the offense until a wide receiver goes down,
but then he
in which
does.
case
Yeah,
he becomes extremely involved in the offense. Yeah, so
yeah,
I to me he has like he's gonna be like a week 4 waiver wire pickup or something, right,
yeah,
in your
yeah,
home leagues.
yeah.
But I do like the pick in best ball, is that way you're just getting those weeks in there.
Yeah, just like something happened. He's like a something happened pick. You know when he starts getting jammed. So again, I prefer Greg Dulcich, but we're gonna stack him up with Baker here. Pretty happy with this roster actually. I prefer a. I mean,
Dude, imagine if that Parker Washington was Brian Thomas Jr. instead. Oh my goodness,
uh,
you would have been eating like a king.
uh, dude, that's we're just gonna have to see. I will throw on a fifth running back. I'm actually comfortable going fragile RB when I start triple running back like that, but these guys have week 13 buys, and I don't want to just take like an instant L. I've been liking Jaden Blue's prognostication going into this year a little more. It seems like Jalen Blue is catching a little heat, which is fine with me.
Jaden Blue was like a off-season darling last year too. I remember drafting him. He didn't play a single game, I think. He bought like Versace cleats and got a blister.
Yep, yep, yep.
And then the coaches said he like wasn't mature
Yeah,
enough to
yeah.
be on the field.
Uh,
But you know what? If you're gonna take a shot at like backup running back that might do something right in a great offense, sure. Like if Javonte Williams goes down, and he has gone down before, like I think Miles Sanders was behind him at a certain point. I don't know if Miles Sanders is there anymore though.
to me, it's
God, remember drafting Miles Sanders in the 6th round when he was on the Eagles and just like feasting?
Miles Sanders in the 6th round, dude.
Yeah, that was like before Saquon got there. There was like it was before Swift too, I think. Like there was just like that one year everyone was disgusted by Miles Sanders, and we just took him to the bank. And it was very good for one exact year.
Dude, this was like a year where I learned a lot about how fantasy works. I took God, I'm trying to think of like what wide receiver has upside this late. I have 5 running backs. I'm not taking a running back. I mean, I kind of like continuing to take Christian Kirk on the off chance he has like a shot at like wide receiver 3 usage in San Francisco in the last round now. I think that's a pretty good shot to keep taking.
I think he's more. If Ricky is out, I think he is more likely the wide receiver 2 than DeJon Stribling.
Yeah, like
Just because of the weird love for veterans
and
in the 49ers culture.
well, like Pearsall throws deep, or Purdy throws deep a lot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so the roster: Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield. A lot of guys will add a third quarterback. I'm anti third quarterback meta. Like I'm just going counter meta. I like 2 quarterbacks. That's how I like my builds. But I did go 2 later quarterbacks, so maybe that's a little controversial. Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff, 2 guys I'm absolutely in love with for this season. Ashton Genty took him a little ahead of where we were. Normally we'd take James Cook there, but we've been taking too much Cook. Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Tyron Tracy Jr., J. Don Blue, Emeka Ibuka, Christian Watson, Parker Washington, Cortland Sutton, Rashid Shaheed, Jalen Naylor, Isaac Tesla, Christian Kirk. I'm really happy with that wide receiver room. Those are a lot of guys that Ted is not big on this year, so he's not going to like it as much, and that's okay. And then this tight end room I think is baller. Sam Laporta, AJ Barner, and Kate Otten. I'm absolutely thrilled with that. Ted, it is late, and I'm keeping you. I'm probably going to draft one more of these. Do you want to hang out or do you want to go? It's almost 11 o'clock here. It's totally fine if you want to go. We can call it. Your call.
Let's run it, dude. I stay up. I stay up till Gremlin hour. It doesn't matter to me. It seems like
right.
you're having a good time.
I am
the
having.
old Dalmatian.
I am having, dude, $1 draft. I just want to draft a lot of these so I can learn how to be. I'm just doing my best Chess Liam impression. I want to be like that guy when I grow up. I've been trying to watch him and learn as much as I possibly can. It's been kind of interesting.
If anyone here
let me
ever
plug in
watches
this
this
stuff.
VOD back, please leave a comment if you think Yanni should start drafting some Best Ball Mania rosters. He does everything other than draft Best Ball Mania. Um,
Yeah. Yep.
it'd be nice to win $2 million,
Dude, it's so here.
especially when your great Christian Kirk call comes home, right? And you're in the running, you make it out of your pod, you get a Christian
Yeah.
Kirk 3 touchdown week 17.
So let's see, dude. How many times have I been in the 7? Dude, there's no way. Oh, it's unbelievable. Okay, so we did a Jonathan Taylor, we did a Genty, we've done a ton of Cook. You know what? No, we'll do an Amon Ra if it comes down to it. We'll do an Amon Ra or a Christian McCaffrey, or if JSN slides, we'll do a JSN. We'll just for some weird composition. No, dude, it's not. So you know my thing about it's a really interesting conversation we've had, right? You watched me start my fantasy football career and then take a decade to kind of figure it out to the point where I'm comfortable giving people advice, to where we're doing these articles, we're doing the streams, we've done hundreds of hours of video, we have a Discord going. Like, we've really worked to grow into this over a decade. And I just did best ball last year. I did $55 rosters last year to kind of start off and get my footing. I advanced an average number of rosters. I was not an exceptional best ball player by any means. What I'm really hoping to do this year is see, like, can I advance, 2 times expectation, 3 times expectation? And that's when, like, I'll start, dude, I'm willing to dump. I'm willing to go like 2 or 3 grand into best ball next year and do some heavy buy-in. I just want to make sure I'm not a fish when I'm doing it. I'm not just sitting there getting eaten alive by data scientists using algorithms. I feel like that's a lot of what best ball is, dude. I don't know if the average person realizes the like heavy data-driven artillery some dudes are rolling into these draft lobbies with. So I'm just trying to develop some sort of ability to hang with these dudes before I go all in. You know what I mean? I don't think that's irrational. Oh my God, a JSN at 7. I mean, we'll do it. Yeah.
There was also a Christian McCaffrey at the 103. What, not chalk whatsoever in this room.
You know what? I like it. I like these weird. Okay. So Christian McCaffrey, Jamar. Yeah, I like that. What did you think of? I don't know if you saw the little skirmish on Twitter about Jamar Chase should be the 1.01, 1.02. There's some people that are really high on that.
Well, I mean, here's the thing with that. Like, I think Jamar Chase is probably the best wide receiver in the league. Yes, he's in a great situation. I'm thrilled to take him at the 103. The news out of the Arizona Cardinals camp with Jeremiah Love, how the coaches are saying they're looking for the right rotation with James Conner, Tyler Algier, and Jeremiah Love.
Yeah.
If you draft Jamar Chase at the 101, and like Jeremiah Love is a guy that might be there for you.
Yeah, that's going to be
that
your
might
anchor.
be your running back choice.
That's
and
going
it's
to
like
be. Yeah.
that freaks me out. So I really think that if you are in the first 2 picks, you should be going the 2 running backs that are holding out.
Yeah.
The 2 guys that are just. I think that's so. Who do you think signs first?
So
by the way, Bijan or Gibbs?
So I have a theory. I thought about that today. I think they signed together. I think they're both waiting. I think both of them told their agents, wait for the other guy to sign so we can outdo his contract number. So I think what ends up happening is they sign together. So we'll see.
I do think there is some competition going on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think the Lions will fold. Lions fans are getting on Twitter and talking about how they want to get rid of their GM if they aren't good this year. So there's some consternation in Detroit Lions camp.
So this would be ultra risky business. We'll see. This might be a Nabers roster if I feel like being weird. That's what
I was gonna say. Like it actually does feel like a Nabers roster.
So at
if Trey McBride already goes.
Yeah, at 66 I could get Joe Burrow. Oh, there goes Nabers. Doesn't matter. If we get this would be a pretty late. Okay, I was gonna say a Trey McBride. So this for you would be what? Quickly, we're at 10 seconds. We're already pretty late.
Maybe Brees. I don't like it, but
no.
Brees might be a click I make.
We're gonna swing around on Jacobs here. I think we'll get Jacobs on the comeback. If not, we are gonna have to go here.
Oh, I actually would have been fine pulling up Jacobs there.
Yeah,
that's actually probably what I would have done.
So the reason I did this is I want some more Lamar Jackson while he's criminally cheap, and I want to try to get a Lamar Jackson Zay stack. I think there I would have had it Olave, Zay, Higgins. But Olave is like a pretty dangerous floor at this point, dude. With both his injuries, the fact that I think Tyson takes a lot of middle of the field work. Oh, there goes Josh Jacobs one before, but we get a pretty good price on Lad McConkey. We'll see if we could turn this thing around with running back. I don't know if I want to go with the Lamar Jackson stack because now we have Herbert. Where does Herbert open up to us? We can come around and get Herbert at 79, and maybe we can go. I've been trying to get some Baishal Tootin. I'm really excited about his camp news. So maybe this will be like this range of running back guys. We'll see if one of those three guys is there for us in the come around.
Yeah, in this fifth round, like I like Monty, I like Tootin, and then Swift, I'm okay on. I'm not super excited about the pick, but I don't hate taking DeAndre Swift either.
These are going to be the three I target. Personally, for me, I do not like the new look of the Browns O-line. I'm over that. I do not like the Browns defense being way worse, and I think Sampson's actual passing game competition for for him. I don't think he's going to get that role. And then Trevion Henderson, I think, is still incompetent. I don't think he's just going to take Ramondre's lunch the way that the fantasy community does. I was seeing a whole dissertation today about the similarities between DeAndre Swift's rookie year and, oh, there goes Tootin up high. Yeah, he probably should be going a little higher. Between DeAndre Swift's, between Gibbs' rookie year and Trevion Henderson, I think we're getting ahead of our skis here, boys. I'm just not willing to. I might take him here if I really have to, because this.
I don't hate Hendo here. Actually, I just it infuriates me how many times last year I had to hear before he'd even played a snap how great of a pass blocker Trevion Henderson was.
Yeah.
Guys, have you heard Trevion Henderson's a great pass blocker? And then he comes in the league, and now we're saying no, it's gonna be Ramondre because he's a better pass blocker.
Yep.
Well, Blake Corum at the 5.5. All right.
Oh, that guy's just fucking around. But we will take. That's a gift for this build to get mid-fifth DeAndre Swift. I do really like that. I think that stabilizes me quite a bit here. Wish we could have gotten Lamar. Lamar ends up going. Probably should be pretty open on this one. Jadarian Price looks pretty good, but I am a little bit worried about Charbonnet's timeline sliding up. I haven't really been clicking him at all. Maybe it would be interesting.
I think Charbonnet, when he comes back, could just be the guy to own in Seattle.
Yep, that's exactly why I have not clicked Price. I kind of hope someone else makes that decision for me. But we could go with a little Sam Darnold, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, Jadarian Price. Okay, someone else made the decision for me. Thank you, sir. That's my
The domain guys are like aggressively in on Jadarian Price. Avery and Nathan, they're rolling out their new algorithm this year, like their draft tool.
Yeah,
like I always see Jadarian Price as like the number one suggestion.
Yeah.
And last year they were telling you not to draft Kenneth Walker, and now they're just like aggressively in on Jadarian Price, I guess.
Yeah, they're really big fans of repeatedly over and over and over saying algo on screen. So this guy probably takes Jordan Tyson, I would assume, with one wide receiver, unless he's going zero wide receiver, and he takes Warren. Oh, continues to be one of my favorite guys who I will be jamming in round 7 of redraft this year, Jordan Tyson. Really happy.
I love that pick so much more than Carnell Tate, by the way.
I think I'm getting there. Why? Do you want to explain why? Or do you have a reason why? Or is it just a vibes thing? Or is it because of the offense?
I have significantly more faith in the passing game and the coordinator there. Last year, did you know Calvin Ridley? I think he averaged like 7 targets a game. He was available. It's just that the Titans' passing game was such a ginormous 0 last year.
Yep.
We've seen nothing that indicates that that's going to get any better. And people were doing stuff like drafting Carnell Tate before Roma Dunze. It blows my mind. But people are very excitable.
To me, Roma, again, I feel like such a jackass whenever I say that. To my eye, as I'm watching camp going, Mia, not doctor, here's my opinion on biomechanics. But here's my opinion on biomechanics. Roma Dunze looked good to me. He looked like he was getting around, dude. I felt pretty pumped up watching Rome do his thing today. So I feel a lot better about that. I don't know, dude. Matt Harmon of Reception Perception seems to be convinced he's the guy to own there. I know the beat was talking about how Burden was getting force-fed targets in the first practice. I do think that's maybe noteworthy, but I just think if they stay like 15 picks apart in ADP, I'm probably going to end up with very little Burden and a lot of Roma Dunze personally. I saw the thing about Caleb Williams saying he wants Loveland to break records this year. That's always pretty exciting. But again, like Loveland's price is getting to the point where if there's not a huge gap between Loveland and McBride and Bowers, I would probably just take Bowers or McBride at that point. So,
Yeah, man, it's very interesting with the Yahoo ADPs. It seems like all of these tight ends, like kind of the tier two tight ends that we talk about, are like around more expensive in your redraft leagues. And to me, like that just makes the Bowers and McBride click even better,
yeah, that
right?
does.
Like if
Right.
people are paying fifth round for Tyler Warren or fourth, third round for Colston Loveland, I view Bowers and Trey McBride as fundamentally better picks. So, yeah, I'm willing to pay that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, right, I'm pretty against that price tag in general because I'm like a little bit worried about the systemic like offensive environment in Oakland, which is why I'm a little lower on Genty and Bowers than the market. But I keep fantasizing about like if you get the first or second pick, I think in Yahoo you're going to be able to go if Bowers is there, I'll take Bowers, right? But you could start like Gibbs, Bowers, Jacobs, and then you can come around and hammer wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver over the next two turns. Like I think you would feel incredible about your build if that's how you come out. Or even if you go like, you know, okay, so I want to keep getting some Sam Laporta here. I'm really getting excited about Sam Laporta, and I want to keep moving him here. And I think it gives us a nice balanced build. We have a bunch of stacks open to us. Probably, when are we going to target our stacks? 114 and then 138 we can go for Darnold. 114 or 127 we can try for Shuck. I think I prefer Shuck just because of the high passing volume, but Darnold with JSN is a pretty good bet. We'll see who's on the board when the choice when the time comes. I'd like to go running backs here.
Getting a tier two tight end in the eighth round, 4 rounds cheaper than fellow tier two tight end Colston Loveland. That's great draft. That's great draft strategy.
Yeah, but you understand, like, so that's actually my biggest holdup with the Bowers and McBride price tag this year. It is not that I'm disputing that they're excellent fantasy defining players who have had. I think they have ceilings that are truly one of one in fantasy. I think McBride showed it last year, and I think well, I guess two guys can't have a 1-on-1 ceiling, but I think they have a league of their own ceiling that I also. Again, you may dispute the small sample size. That's fair. Colston Loveland did in fact demonstrate that ceiling for 6 weeks last year at the end of the season. So I think but those two guys are like so unique, right, in terms of fantasy weapons. Fine. But I would feel so good rolling in with Warren, with Kraft, with Laporta, or with Mark Andrews at like round 9 or 10. Or with George Kittle that late if you want to, or with round 9 Kelsey, or round 11 Goddard, who has more fantasy points per route run with AJ Brown off the field than Devonta Smith. I just like on at some point I think I would just rather hunt the value instead of the guarantee in those guys. So it's just an opportunity cost thing for me. So like if you can have Laporta and Nico Collins or Brock Bowers and Jordan Tyson, I guess that's actually kind of like a tough call. I don't have a strong opinion. This is a very easy Kenny Gainwell for me in this build. I don't necessarily have some strong opinion on it because I'm really big on Jordan Tyson. But to me, I think I would rather have Laporta and Nico Collins there. That's kind of how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it all just depends on how the ADPs move, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm a taco for just getting excited about Bowers and McBride. I truly do think though those guys are in a league of their own. I'm happy to pay it. The other guys not so much. It's not that I won't pay it. It's that if it's around more expensive in the redraft, then I think there's more value in just kind of getting you around 8, 9, 10 tight end, whatever, right?
Yeah.
The Travis Kelsey's, Mark Andrews of the world.
Okay, so we have the stack with Sam Darnold on the long turn here. So what is that? 127 and 128. I don't know if I necessarily want to reach on Shuck here when there are still some pretty good options. Oh God, this would have been a crush for Ricky. I continue to try to take Romeo Dobbs. I am very excited by one, the fact that AJ Brown hasn't looked great in camp to me. But two, you know what? No, we're going to mix it up a little bit because we don't have a lot of running backs. We're going to take a Jordan Mason share up here. Okay, it gives us some nice balance in the running back room. Yeah, Yeah, and we'll see if
That guy did not take very long taking Ricky Pearsall immediately after you.
Hey man,
There's
hey,
like 1 second on the clock. He's immediate Ricky.
hey. It may turn out, you know what? We're going to try to be uber sneaky here. We're going to try to get Rashid Shaheed in the boat and then swing around on the ginger god himself. One of the only two quarterbacks in the NFL with 4,000 passing yards the last 2 years in Sam Darnold. Which is a hilarious stat to me, by the way. Absolutely hilarious that that's a real stat.
I had to fundamentally change my take on Sam Darnold. I was not a believer whatsoever. The year in Minnesota, I thought it was just kind of like a flash in the pan year. He's a beneficiary of being in a Kevin O'Connell offense, getting to throw to Justin Jefferson. But yeah, man, last year with that playoff performance, that run he went on, and now it's 2 years of sustained success.
Yep.
I think like you have to take Sam Darnold seriously.
Yep.
Maybe not in fantasy. I
No.
probably would not be thrilled to be rolling him out there for my redraft league or
No.
whatever. But like, if you're in Superflex and you got Sam Darnold as your QB two, that might not be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is just a stacks thing. Oh, there goes Shaheed. Oh, that's a backbreaker. Okay, we will still try to get Sam Darnold, and I'm going to continue to take what I think is one of the best values on the board in Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews and Laporta closes out a nice strong room, although we could totally still swing around. I mean, is there anyone? Because we could still swing around and get Barner if we get Darnold here. I don't know. Is there any value there that jumps out to you over Andrews? Doesn't matter. The choice was made for us, so probably Stephon Diggs would be my next wide receiver here, but I don't feel great about that. We could go Tyron Tracy, Chris Rodriguez. What are you thinking? No, we'll just go Diggs. He's going to sign somewhere. I want a
I
wide
hate
receiver.
the Diggs pick. Well, dude, we're in camp now and he's still not on a team and still in
Yeah.
court for potential homosexual
Oh,
relations.
no, not home. No. Wait, God, what year is it? No, he didn't do gay stuff. That's not what he's on trial for. He's on trial for kidnapping a gay dude who wouldn't do gay stuff with him. It's way worse. I actually think that is a hilariously sexist aspect of the NFL. Could you imagine if it was a woman involved in that case? That dude is he would be banned from the league. It is because it is a dude that is the accuser that no one cares. Um, yeah, I mean, probably could have gone tight end there. Like Goddard would have been a pretty good pick there, but I mean, it's okay. Because I feel really good about these four receivers. That's sort of an upside swing. I didn't really like I'm not a big Higgins guy. I do like Omar Cooper at price. This range just starts to get pretty icky, is more so what it is. But if Sam,
I've been really liking that Woody Marks click, man. The
yeah,
Woody Marks click, but I don't know
yeah.
if you even want another running back.
I was looking for a receiver. No, I'll take one more, but usually later because this is a pretty solid room in my opinion. There, I think Mason is going to be the lead back.
Like, what receivers are still available even?
Travis Hunter, Omar Cooper Jr., Jalen McMillan, Naylor, Juwan Jennings. It's pretty.
Yeah, I
pretty
think
icky.
that Cooper, McMillan, Naylor
Yeah.
grouping is pretty good.
Yeah. It's all right. I could have taken Tyron Tracy there too, but I did want. I don't know. I think Stephon Diggs signs with the Skins probably. Okay, so we do get our Sam Darnold stack. Huge bummer to miss out on Rashid Shaheed at that pick. He went well above ADP there. Okay. Okay. Decent room.
I'm going to give you a chance here to walk back one of your previous takes.
Uh-huh.
Yanni has gone on the record on this show saying that he's 95% sure Brandon Ayuk
Oh no.
plays again in
Oh
the NFL.
no.
Would you like to revise that take?
Okay, so first of all, it's actually very funny. I was thinking about this today and I could not stop laughing. I think that there's like a chance he goes back to the Niners now with all the issues at wide receiver. Do you think he just shows up with his helmet and they're like, you know what, put him out there?
I think he would get his ass kicked.
You think?
I think like, dude, like now that he went out and like taunted Shanahan or whatever, right? And he's continuing like he did a post to the NFLPA today too. I think that like he would genuinely get his ass kicked
You think?
if he showed up. Yes. Yes, I think he would get assaulted by members of the team.
By members of the team.
Yes.
Okay, so we're not. This is like, I always hate doing this when you're at a weird range. So 162, we should have an outside shot at. I've been hearing some really interesting stuff about Trey Harris's profile coming out of college and how they think he might fit in with Justin Herbert. Seems like his body type is an interesting one if they do run some more 13 personnel this year, which I'm not sure if they will or won't, but it's interesting. Um, Ooh, so this is a tough one. Let's talk about this ahead of time because I'm also on a little delay with you. On my screen right now, Trey Harris is for the next pick. I'm looking at, do I want the Oronde Gadsden stack with Justin Herbert? Do I want Cooper Jr. or McMillan? Okay, so McMillan or Gadsden, who would you take there?
You could do Gadsden and be done. Because I don't like Trey Harris so much. So it's like McMillan or Gadsden to me. I like Gadsden a little more. Get some correlation.
Yeah, he'll have some
If he's
spike
on the
weeks.
field, he should be good.
He'll have some spike weeks at some point. Okay, and we're pretty comfy with this whole range of receiver. We'll just try to get another receiver to throw in here.
And obviously now Keenan Allen has moved on to greener pastures. That's a lot of targets vacated.
Oh,
There's
there
a
go.
ton of targets vacated.
Wait, where did Trey Harris go? God damn. Oh no, he didn't go. Why is he off my thing? Oh, there he is. Okay.
He's right at the top.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, dude. So Trey Harris was like a guy who had a really interesting college profile. I think he's interesting when you have a Justin Herbert roster. I think he's a pretty interesting add-on. I would maybe like a third tight end here. This isn't, or a third quarterback here. This is not an amazing QB room. We may try for like
That's a
late.
Mendoza for me.
Oh, do I have any stacking with him? No, but I could.
I don't think so, but
All right, we're gonna see who's around after we handle this.
there is always the trusty uncorrelated Bryce Young.
Uncorrelated, the only time in my life I will f around with a Bryce Young. Okay, so I like Ryan.
Oh, there he goes.
I like Ryan Flournoy so much more than Trey Harris, but we are going to take Trey Harris here. With Herbert, on the off chance that Trey Harris secures some 13 personnel work because he is a big-bodied blocking receiver. He's just an interesting profile, and it was one guy that like some people flagged him as a pretty premium talent that they thought might take time to develop. So in that context, it's pretty interesting. Like, say he pops a little bit. I think it would more be like eating off QJ's plate. I don't think it's like he's going to take anything off Ladd's. But I think there's a real debate there about is Trey Harris a better talent than QJ based on his. I was actually reading his like scouting reports this week. It was probably a waste of my time, but I did do it.
Just imagining you reading Trey Harris's scouting reports in your like empty apartment.
Yep, in my empty apartment. My apartment with all my shit packed in my car. Yes, and a dead empty apartment. No words, no nothing, just sitting there. Dude, I did 150 applications this week. 150. I had to make a spreadsheet to track them all. Oh God. Yeah. Yep.
Man, someone I was in like a stream, like a Twitch stream this week, and someone was talking about like resumes.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I professionally review resumes, and I was like, God, that I can't think of the last time I cared about a resume.
Yeah.
Like now that ChatGPT can do it, like I don't know, maybe I'm just jaded, but like I just think of like the doofus middle manager that's gonna be looking at that. Or like they'll be like, I actually don't like the style of this.
Yeah.
I don't like the format of this resume. It's like you're trying to please some loser Walmart middle manager. Like I don't know.
So here's the problem with it. We're going to stack AJ Barner with Sam Darnold. We're going to go with a really robust tight end room because I think you're going to take flex scores from one of those guys. We have 2 tight ends stacked plus Laporta for upside. Kind of like a funky spread out build here, and I might go 3. We'll see. Okay, we'll see if we can get one of these quarterbacks on the comeback. If not, we will take. So it's actually weird, dude, because right, like I'm applying to, healthcare and mental health care and like psychiatric units and like suicide prevention hotline is one that you can do overnight. It's actually really good for like crisis intervention work. It looks really good for like graduate programs that you've done intervention work. It's like what's called a multidisciplinary approach to being in the field. And the problem is when you're doing these these interviews are weird. It's like they want to get to know you in the interview because they're trying to decide if they can trust you alone with vulnerable people. And that's like a very different thing. And it's usually women. The field's 82 to 85% women. And it's like a very, I don't know how to describe the vibe. And they don't, to be honest with you, they generally don't like white dudes. It's like you're considered privileged. You're considered like you're gonna have an issue connecting with people, and it makes for a very weird. I don't. Again, the vibe is almost indescribable. It is very odd. Oh God, there goes Jacoby Brissett last minute. That would have been a savior of a third quarterback here. Ugh. Oh, it's just the tier of non-adders. This is going to be an extremely fragile quarterback room. Probably doesn't get it done, to be totally honest with you, but we'll take Tucker there. So yeah, dude, that's more been the thing is like these people want to. I don't know how to describe it, but it's very uncomfortable. I get very stressed before I go into them because you're getting judged on some things you can't control. Like I'm a white guy, I can't do anything about that, and you're getting interviewed in such a way that they're like trying to tell. It's almost like a motherly vibe, like. And yeah, it's very hard to describe. It's a very odd thing. Yeah.
Yanni being interviewed by the Longhouse.
That's what, I mean, that's kind of what it is. Yeah. And you know, like you have to stay calm, dude. Oftentimes in these psych wards, like people get violent because they're mentally ill. They're not violent people. They're dealing with a mental illness, and they start swinging on you and they start hitting you in the face and they start like, they pick up what it happens all the time. And they want to know that you can stay calm. So in some ways, like they could be kind of confrontational with you sometimes. It's very odd. It's very odd. It's something I'm navigating with 150 job applications, and we'll see where I end up landing. On the
I
bright,
did not miss the job interview stuff,
God,
dude. Like there was like a 2-year period I got pretty good at doing interviews because I was interested in doing them. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just like comfortable in my job now.
Yep. And again, once you get like experience, it's not quite the same. Like they kind of, you know, they put you through the ringer because my resume is like fishing and construction and landscaping and running a small business. Like that's not really a psychologically relevant resume. So like that's all they're doing. They're putting you through the ringer, and I understand. I'm going to be very relieved when I get done. Oh God, the Ted Hurst reports from camp. You talk about confirmation bias. I'm going to take Wicks here first because I think Hurst makes it around to me. But you talk about confirmation bias. Oh, the most confirmy of confirmation biases. This dude is drawing comparisons to a young Mike Evans. I am in. Chris Godwin is talking about him like he is just the man. That got me all excited when I saw that today. I don't know though. I mean, I actually kind of need another running back on this build more, so maybe a Kalen Black, Braylon Allen.
I do like some Kalen Black.
More so on DK. On DK, he is a 20th round pick.
Let the record show we told you Kalen Black was the RB2 in San Francisco.
Yep, that dude is built like a brick shithouse, dude. He is a monster. Yeah, he's awesome. But yes, so wait.
Hopefully,
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say hopefully he's not like our yearly running back or wide receiver bust in the third round that the Niners just have to take every year. But I do have some faith in this one.
So you would actually ask me, oh, there goes Keenan Allen. Okay, yeah, we'll do Braylon Allen as the RB6. Love that price as an RB6. You would ask me, what do I think the odds are that Brandon Ayuk plays? And that's how we'll close this out. But first, Justin Herbert and Sam Darnold, way too fragile of a quarterback room. I got sniped on 5 different quarterbacks. I tried. That is probably not going to get it done. This roster is probably dead in the water. Chase Brown, DeAndre Swift, Kenny Gainwell, Jordan Mason, Sean Tucker, Braylon Allen, Njigba, Zay Flowers. Again, I wanted the Lamar stack, didn't get it. Lad McConkey, Jordan Tyson, Stephon Diggs, Trey Harris, Dontavian Wicks, Laporta, Oronde Gadsden, Barner, very strong tight end room. What do I think the odds are that that Ayuk plays this year? I'm still going to say 80%. I think team...
No, not this year again in the NFL.
No, I'm saying this year. I think there's an 80%. Dude, this year is less likely than ever again. I think there's an 80% chance Ayuk is on a team at some point this year. I think some team is going to hit the skids. They're going to need a wide receiver. I think the Raiders should just bring him in outright. I'm still going to say 80%. I'm going to be that dude that's way out there on a limb and say he gets in. What are your percentages at? Are they at negative at this point?
I think there is a 0% chance he plays this year.
Okay.
And I think that the idea that he ever gets on an NFL roster again, I'm probably at like 8%. I think he has completely burned his bridge, and he was never the quality of player of like an Antonio Brown or a TL. Like those diva wide receivers that are just kind of a little out there, right? A little maniac. Like they're like all-time wide receivers,
Yep.
like guys who have really done something in the league. Brandon Ayuk has one good season under his belt.
Yep.
He's never caught over 80 balls, and I don't think that juice is worth the squeeze. I think that he's every time he makes another Instagram post or whatever, there's just another team that might have been interested that's no longer interested.
I think that's probably true. Again, I still think that the talent is rare enough, even though it's been a couple of years since we've seen it. I think the talent's rare enough that he gets an opportunity, but the person is horrible. Clearly, the personality is just atrocious at this point. There's no defending that. Okay, guys, if you checked out the stream, if you're coming by and watching on a replay, thank you so much for taking the time to watch with us. If you think I draft terribly and you want to take my money, I am putting at least $1,000 up, maybe up to $1,500 in free Tendies fantasy leagues for redraft this year. The Discord is linked in the comments. The Substack is linked in the comments. You can come and take our money if you think these drafts have not done very well. The money is on the table. Ted, anything to leave the internet world with on this fine, almost midnight stream?
Please like, subscribe, hit the bell if you viewed the VOD or watched the stream, hung out. It really helps the channel out. And hopefully we'll be doing some mock drafts for a redraft soon. We're kind of waiting for people to start actually doing them. So we're not getting like 3 rounds and then a bunch of, auto picks.
We can totally, I think like August 1st is a good start. That's when everyone tends to, that's when like Yahoo sends out a mass email that you're re-enrolled in your fantasy league. That's when people will come back in there. So we'll do some Yahoo mocks for sure in like 2 days. So we'll get that rolling. All right, guys, thank you. Have a good night.